Brandon Scott of sportsradio610.com, joined again by Houston Dynamo FC head coach Ben Olsen. Look, Ben, first of all, I want to start off by congratulating you guys on your victory here against Sporting Kansas City, and obviously you're going to go face the defending MLS champion Los Angeles FC in single elimination Western Conference Final. First of all, I want to start with this. Tell me what the scene was like there at like paint the picture for me. Put me there in the scene at Shell NRG when you guys are there advancing and making things happen.
Yeah, there's obviously these, those are the kind of moments when the whistle blows, right, and you advance in a difficult game at home. That's what we do this for, right? There's joys in coaching, but there's not a lot of it. Those type of nights are very rare, and to see our fans leaving there happy, and it was a packed house, and the players just again with the that joy is just it's a great feeling. I wish you could bottle it up. Afterwards, though, there's some celebrating within the group, and certainly in the locker room, it was a festive atmosphere. But it's nice. It's a strange, not a strange. There's this excitement, but not getting overwhelmed with it, and understanding there's another game here. And I think that's the beauty of this team. Even though we're playing with a little bit of house money and nobody really had us in this spot, that's not really the mentality of this group. They believe that we can do this, and that's I think what has made this team special this year.
So I want to ask you two things on that. First of all, how do you guys balance that excitement versus also sort of tempering the excitement to stay focused for the next task? I know it's probably a question that you get quite a bit, but there does seem to be a balancing act that has to be done there for you guys.
It's a balance, but again, sometimes it's just it's not something you can put into them. Yeah, you can say, "Hey guys, okay, great win, but we got to focus on LA." But not after the game. It's not time for that. Enjoy it. And then when we get back to work, we have a week in between games, and you drip it in a little bit. And as the week goes on, and the focus turns on to LA, then kind of the narrative changes, and the energy around the building here, a training facility, and the meetings, and the intensity starts to ramp up. So that's a formula we're pretty well versed in.
In terms of narratives changing and expectations changing, how much do you feel like you guys outperforming the expectation or outperforming the narrative has to do with this just being a completely new team with new players, new staff members? How much of it has to do with just the newness of the team and just sort of the uncertainty of that? And did perhaps that give you guys confidence in maybe knowing, hey, the rest of the world just doesn't know exactly what we know about this team?
I think for part of the season we were sneaking up on teams, but I think especially once we won the Open Cup, word was out that we're real and that we're a handful, and I don't think we're a team that teams really were looking forward to playing, in particular at home. So. Yeah, I don't know if that kind of answers your question.
Well, so you mentioned the Open Cup. I guess we can follow up on that because you guys won that back in September. What did winning the Open Cup do for you guys as a team?
I think it just simply showed that we have the chops to play at a high level against a really good team in a big moment. We have the individual players to have success. And it gives a little bit more belief, right? You need wins to get belief and to, again, for players and staff to buy into kind of what we're selling here. You need to put W's up, and because if you just keep losing and you're selling something, in the end, it's not gonna work. So we've been lucky enough early to get a couple of results to keep buy-in from the players of what we're trying to do here. And then with each little win, it starts to help. It starts to forge an identity on the field, forge a winning culture that we're trying to do. So this blank canvas has been it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun to kind of design this, and the freshness has helped us out. I think that's what you were getting at before. I think this freshness of this group, even though we built, even though it's a new group, we build it with winners. We build it with guys that have held trophies before, and I think that's really helped us this year.
I want to ask you about your journey for a minute here. You spent 2 decades with DC United, 10 as a player, 10 as the head coach, and you talked in the past about how stepping away for a couple of years kind of refreshed you a little bit. I wanted to give you some time and space to speak on that. What did your time away, what did your experience obviously do for you, but also your time away do for you in terms of being reinvigorated with this team?
Yeah, well, it gave me a chance to reflect, which, again, when you're in a job like this or even a pro athlete, it's just the next day. You're always on the next day or the next challenge or the next game. So it gave me a chance to have nothing in front of me for a second other than my family. And I stepped away and really kind of reflected over the last 2 decades and was really appreciative for what I just went through. Not everybody gets to be a coach for 10 years or a pro player for 10 years, in particular the same area. Then I wanted to get some things out of my system. I wanted to paint. I was in a studio for a year, became an artist, and it was absolute joy. It was something I wanted to do for a long time. I dabbled in it, but I never really put a lot of time and energy to it. And it was just a wonderful period in my life. During COVID, I could go be in the studio by myself and get out of the house, and it was just a nice time for that. And then I was a president for a women's team in Washington, D.C., and that taught me some new things, and I was uncomfortable, for better or worse. And then I did some television. So it was just a time in my life I needed to step away from coaching and the intensity of that, and try some different looks at life, because you're in that lane for a while. It totally recharged me. It gave me the itch to get back into the game. And again, with this project being a blank canvas and being something that is fresh, along with my energy right now, I think it was just the right time and the right project for me.
I don't think I'd read about your background as an artist or as a painter. You want to tell me a little bit more about that? Where did that start, and how far are you going with that?
My father's side are all artists, New York, Jersey, and my father dabbles in writing. Brother, it's just a line of artists. So I was exposed to it for a long time. My grandfather was a painter, inventor. My grandmother was an interior decorator and art teacher. So that was there all the time, and I loved doing it as a kid. The soccer part, the athletics always quenched that thirst, if you will, that artistic feeling that some people have. Sport always took care of that in me. I lost it a few times through injuries, playing sports for a year, and something was in me. I needed to get out, and I started painting when I was a player, when I was injured, and it really helped me kind of get through those times. And then since then, I dabbled in it for the next decade, and it started to be more important in my life towards the end of my coaching career. And then I gave it a go for about a year, or actually about 2 years. It was great. It was wonderful. It was just nice at my age to get better at something and see some growth. But I haven't had any time now since I got here in November. I think I tried to paint once, and it wasn't coming off. I bailed on it early, and this is where my energy is right now. And maybe at some point down the road, I'll get back into that.
Well, I think it's safe to say that this is a pretty good use of your time. So I'm sure you'll take it. As we've mentioned before, you guys are going to travel to face the defending MLS champion, Los Angeles FC, in the single-elimination Western Conference Final on Saturday, December 2nd at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That is Central Time. So since we have you here, go ahead and give the Houston Dynamo FC fans if they don't already have a sense for it, what is the scouting report on, like we mentioned, the defending MLS champion LAFC, and what is the key for you guys to being successful against that scouting report?
Yeah, well, they're the champs for a reason. They didn't sneak up on anybody. They huge payroll, big stars, probably one of the most talented teams in the league. It's no surprise that they're in the situation that they're in. Most people would have bet at the beginning of the season they'd be right, in the Western Conference Finals. So they can get you in a bunch of different ways. They have different ways to attack you. Obviously, transition. They've got a world-class player in Vela. They've got the leading scorer in the league, and a guy named Bawanga, who can score and produce in a variety of different ways. So we'll certainly have to be constantly aware of him. And they're athletic. They're the way they play in playoffs is better than they are in the regular season. They tend to turn it up because they've been there. So we've got some tweaks. We've got some things that we think may hurt them a little bit, as I'm sure they're doing their homework on us, and they think they can get at us in a few different ways. So that tactical battle is a lot of fun for us to prepare, and we're just we just have to be really good on the day. We have to have everybody show up and be at their best, and then dodge a bullet or two and make a save and get the right bounce, and then outwork them. And all these intangibles, all these cliches, they're real. And but I think we're in a good headspace. I think the idea of us going there, certainly being the underdog, hopefully we can surprise some people and get out of this one and move on to the finals.
Yep. Ben, the last time we talked, we discussed our favorite cliches. Since
that's right, we did. I remember that.
Since you're a coach and I'm in media,
I'm running out of them. I a whole year.
Well, but this is the point I was going to make about it, though. I think we can agree on this, that one thing you guys want to do, and this is probably across sports, attack the cliches, because they're cliches for a reason. And so if you attack the cliches, check off the cliche box, do all of the cliches that you guys give to the media and maybe even to each other, then you're probably doing something right. So like I feel like one key to any match, any game, is to attack the cliches head on.
I love it. Yeah, well, we've been doing that. We've been using them all.
That's Ben Olsen here with us on Sports Radio 610. Look, best of luck in the single-elimination Western Conference Final against the defending MLS champion LAFC. Hopefully that you guys are able to be celebrating the same way, or if not even more than you were the last time. I imagine this would be a cause for even greater celebration, obviously, the further you go along. So I'm wishing you guys well on that, and go out there and do your thing.
Okay, we'll talk soon. We'll talk when we get back.
All right, take care.
About 5 minutes.